Hey, welcome to the Wednesday Wake Up from the Jersey Shore. In this episode, we wanted to cover some new regulations that have just passed into New Jersey and how it may affect you and your real estate future. Hey, Chip Watson, Jersey Shore real estate experts brokered by eXp Realty. If you're not a fan already, please click the subscribe button below. And if you like what you're seeing, please give us a thumbs up or click the like. It really helps us a lot. We appreciate it. And if you want to follow us on social media, there's links below. So in this week's newsletter, we wanted to cover some of the new changes in the real estate world that may affect you if you're going to be buying or selling a property soon, or if you're just curious as to what's happening in the world. So we're going to cover a little bit of that today.
They're really more practical changes, and I think it's important that we just educate the consumers as to what's happening, because some of the ways that we have been doing real estate in the past are going to change going forward. The state of New Jersey just enacted a law called the New Jersey Real Estate Consumer Protection Enhancement Act. And there are some great components of that add some transparency and clarity to both buyers and sellers and the relationship that they have with their real estate professional. So I think this is going to be a good bill or good mandates for all of us moving forward. Just a couple of key points to discuss with regards to this new Consumer Protection Enhancement Act. Number one is the seller property disclosure. In the state of New Jersey, sellers must now fill out a seller property disclosure statement. In other states, like our surrounding sites like Pennsylvania and New York, they are already required. Here in New Jersey, they had not been. As of March 17th, they are now required to be filled out in their entirety, including the flood section. This is for residential real estate only. It does not apply to commercial properties. If you are a seller and you have inherited mom or dad's house and you don't know too much about it, it's okay. You still are required by law to fill out the seller property disclosure statement. Just fill it out to the best of your knowledge. If you don't know something, there's a box you can check off that says unknown. Unknown's okay. Just it's important that you say what you know. Even if you are new construction, new developer, you still must fill one of these out.
Another change would be onto the buying side of the transaction or the relationship with your real estate agent. So any kind of agency is now going to have to be reduced to writing. We're going to have a buyer agreement in place. If you were to look for a property in the state of New Jersey, you're going to have a agreement with a buyer's agent, real estate professional, as to how that real estate professional is going to work for you and under the terms of which that real estate professional is going to be paid. Much like in past traditional years, 9 times out of 10, the seller is going to be paying for any kind of compensation that may be paid out to any professionals. But these are things that are going to be negotiated always going forward and always have been.
Going forward, brokerage service agreements are going to be required. Essentially what that means is if you are a seller working with a listing agent, you have a contractual relationship with that agent. If you are a buyer and you're working with a buyer's agent, you now have to have a contractual relationship with that buyer's agent to show you homes. It's now just really doing nothing more than establishing a professional relationship or a professional agency relationship with the real estate licensee that you are working with. In the past, you could find a property online, call up an agent, hop in your car and go see the property. Going forward, that is not going to be the case. There'll be different types of agreements that you would have to sign. There could be a single property agreement. There could be a town agreement. There could be for a time frame. These are all negotiable items, but just keep in mind going forward, if you are working with a buyer's agent, you are going to have to sign an agreement to work with that person before they're allowed to show you a home. In the event that you are working with a real estate professional and they are happy to run you around and show you property without having you enter into some kind of an agency agreement, they are not following the rules. They are not following the law. And it's really important that you work with someone who is ethical and does the right thing. If they are not following the rules and getting you to work with them under an agency agreement, what other rules are they not following you? And it's important when you are having someone help you with one of the biggest purchasing decisions of your life that you're working with a professional that is following the rules and the laws of their profession. So again, now we're just basically going to have buyers are going to hire their agent and sellers are going to hire their agent. So a little bit more of a professional relationship versus as loose as it had been in the past. Something that we had always done at the Jersey Shore Real Estate Experts was we had a buyer loyalty agreement. So for us working with buyers and having them enter into an agency relationship with us is nothing new for our buyers and our buyer clients. However, it's a little bit new to the industry and sort of solidifies the relationship. And this is going to be a good thing moving forward.
Yeah, a lot of times we just used to do a handshake and that constituted a deal. Today we just have to have a little bit more formalized. In the future, you may have something that's like a DocuSign sent to you before you show up and look at property. So don't be concerned. Another new change to the state of New Jersey and how real estate agents will work through agency will be a new designation called designated agent. Helen Ann, explain a little bit more about designated agency.
Absolutely. In the state of New Jersey, there are a few different ways that an agent can interact with the consumer. We can be a buyer's agent, we can be a seller's agent, we can be a dual disclosed agent, or we can be a designated agent. Designated agency is new in the state of New Jersey. Not necessarily new in other states, but new for us here in New Jersey. What designated agency means is two agents who work for the same brokerage can now give full representation to a buyer and a seller in the same transaction. Whereas in the past, that was not the case. In the past, if you had a listing agreement with the seller, everybody for that company, including the agent and everybody licensed for that company, essentially worked for that seller. And that was a little problematic and maybe made sense in 1950, but doesn't make sense in 2024, the year that we're doing business today. And by the way, that's when agency was created in 1950. The whole concept needs to be revised because of the way of the internet and the way that we work in the world today. But now we have something called designated agency that allows Chip to represent a seller in a transaction for a particular property. That allows me to represent the buyer in that same transaction, and for us to each give our clients full representation with our full, complete fiduciary responsibilities. One of the other mandates under the Consumer Protection Real Estate Act is we are now going to have agency required as part of our continuing education. Every couple of years in June, we have to have continuing education completed. Code of ethics is something that we always have to do, but now agency is something that we're also going to have to do this upcoming round just to make sure that all agents in New Jersey are crystal clear on what designated agency means. Super important, and it's great for the consumer to get full representation. One of the other changes that the Consumer Protection Real Estate Enhancement Act has now, when we go to an open house, in the open house, the sign must clearly be displayed at the open house, letting you, the consumer, know that the listing agent or whoever is hosting that open house represents the seller. And anything that you say can and may be used against you if you decide to buy that house. So just be careful when you're walking around open houses. But again, signage for us, again, from a transparency perspective, so let anyone who comes in understand we're happy to answer questions, we're happy to guide, we're happy to advise, we're happy to talk about the market. When it really comes to that particular property, we represent the seller. We're always good stewards of real estate, and most agents in any market typically are good stewards of real estate. But when you're talking about that specific property, we represent the seller. So just please be cautious.
And I think a lot of these new these new rules that they're putting into our processes and procedures in real estate are truly going to make our profession even that much more professional. And what I mean by that is, because of the continuing education, what we've been doing to get ourselves ready for some of these changes, how it's really more transparency.
Yeah,
it's more allows clarity. The consumer know.
And I think right now we have a lot of new documents that are coming at buyers and sellers. A lot of paperwork people are signing that they've never had to see before, and some of it certainly does seem a little redundant. But I think it's just really to increase that level of transparency with that relationship with your agents, with your real estate agent, and to help the consumer have that clarity of understanding what's actually happening in the transaction.
We here at the Jersey Shore Real Estate Experts truly appreciate you guys following us and watching our videos, and any advice that we can help you with the shore, real estate in general, anywhere in the world, because we are truly internationally connected. We look forward to helping you with that. And with that, we look forward to seeing you again soon.